What's up, guys? This is Tom Burkhardt from Car Revs Daily in the 2017 Lexus ES350. This traditionalist favorite is even better for 2017. So revised model, and excited to take it for a quick drive review. It's always great to get in the ES. You remember how good this car actually is. So excited to show you guys that. So the three thematic elements that we want to cover in this drive video are the just like easy luxury, some things that make the ES350 really awesome and really easy for people who need and want, you know, the latest technology and style and safety, but don't really need a high performance machine. You know, they're not obsessed with handling dynamics, and you know they just want the basics. And so we'll talk about easy luxury for the ES350. And then the second thing is we'll talk about what's new for 2017 in the car, and then close out on this particular example. Spoiler alert, starts from about 40 grand, but as tested comes in at 49, which still feels like really good value. All right, so point one is easy luxury. So the ES350 is so easy and familiar. I mean, for anybody who's driven a Toyota, all the controls, really ever, I mean, all the controls are very intuitive and simple. Even though you have the latest nav with traffic, for example, you know, Bluetooth connectivity, of course, and you know, sport drive modes, like sport, eco, and normal. So I'll go into sport now. Even though you've got that stuff, I'm going. The ES is just so easy and chill about things. We also have active cruise control, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring system, backup camera with guidelines. I mean, really all the sort of safety must-haves that are on people's shopping lists. So nice to have that stuff, as well as automatic emergency braking and automatic high beams, which is a really nice and useful feature, especially out here in the country. So the rest of the time, I mean, just like Lexus makes this so easy. All the steering wheel controls are super intuitive. There's no mystery with the central mid-cluster display. The Lexus system is really easy, so I can just go like home or menu, and then I use this toggle, which automatically jumps to the, you know, what you might want to adjust. But of course, we've got repeated controls for the radio and HVAC system here, so you don't have to go in there to make any big adjustments. You know, same goes for like the heated and cooled seats. If you have it on heat, we'll do a little launch start. If you have it on heat, it'll be on heat the next time you start it, which is pretty, just like little intuitive stuff makes the car easy. The drive is pretty easy too. It's pretty easy to get about 7.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour via this 268 horsepower 3.5 liter V6 and 6-speed automatic transmission. The powertrain is carried over for the ES350, but the exterior design, the chassis itself, and the interior are reworked. So let's talk about like what's new for 2017 now. So that's a really good transition. So we've got a little bit of a fresh style and LEDs that match the latest sort of Lexus look from their most contemporary models, as well as like actually what is like a larger single frame grille in front, but it's more subtle, it's more demure, and on this ES350 especially, it has really conservative slats, creating a horizontal motif, and then some layered elements around the LED fog lights. So it's fresh from the nose, less so from the clean sides and tail. Excuse me, clean sides and tail, which are definitely familiar, but you know, are still really good, and they still look good, and they look very aero optimized, which they are. So the ES350 now does 21 in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway, which is pretty terrific considering the fact that this does have sort of a legacy engine. We can go into manual mode. It does have a legacy engine and transmission, in that we don't have an 8-speed yet. Other big tweaks come in the cabin. So the cabin is significantly more luxurious and quieter than before, which is very impressive because it was always a pretty quiet machine. This is the first time the ES350 has been built in the United States. So this one comes out of Kentucky, and for this redesign, they tweaked a lot of the chassis and added a bunch of extra welds. So everywhere where there was, like, you know, just some rigidity before in how the pieces of the structure are welded together, now there's just extra solid feeling of rigidity. So that's definitely new and nice, sort of a light mid-cycle refresh. Nothing really revolutionary there. Still front drive machine, of course, so as I'm flooring it, definitely getting the traction control light coming on, but and some big body lean to the back as you accelerate, and there's a big pull from the front. But overall, the steering stays really pure. There's not very much torque steer. It stays pretty quiet, even at full throttle, and it definitely handles a little bit better than it did before. So that's all good. And people who are buying the ES350, I'm telling you, they're not driving like I'm driving right now. They're very, very calm and relaxed types of drivers. So other types of interior tweaks, we've got the latest Lexus steering wheel, of course, with its controls for lane keep and active cruise right here, as well as like a slimline mirror without that big edge. Nice little new buttons here for the home link and the electrochromic auto dimming. Like all this stuff is, all the interior lighting is now like electrostatic. Like you don't have to actually push a button, just by touching it, it comes on. There's some other sort of revised stuff here. We've got like a hand holder for the Lexus Inform system, which of course right when we get on the toggle, it'll snap to whatever we want to look at. Very, very easy. As well as unique cup holders and wood trim. So this car has the luxury package, which is embossed leather seating with heated and cooled seats, power seats, memory seats, and power adjustable steering column, which is pretty nice. There's not a huge range of adjustment for the seat, but it is comfortable. And no seat squab adjustment on this particular ES, although I know it is available on some trims. Other revisions include to the cabin, just like new design motifs, and some tweaked styling details. Like for this layered element, they wanted to make it feel lower and more modern and fit in with the rest of the Lexus range, which it certainly does now. Even though, that being said, it is missing some stuff. I mean, this system is very familiar because it is from Toyota, but the Toyotas are all like touchscreen, whereas this, you use the toggle. I actually prefer the Lexus system better, but it's definitely sort of like mainstream versus like Audi as the new Google Earth based nav, and even BMWs are getting pretty better about their SAT connected navigation. And other stuff is definitely straight out of the Toyota bin. Like the gauge cluster here feels very Camry-ish, and because it is, this whole central screen is shared with Camry. The gauges themselves are not electroluminescent, which is kind of like, I mean, a value play for Lexus, that they're not that sort of like super bright and always lit up gauges that kind of define the coolest Lexuses for a while. Like they're just traditional like, I don't know, backlit gauges. So there's like subtle stuff that's definitely more from the Toyota side of the family than it is from like a super premium Lexus side. But is it enough to spoil the car considering its great value? No. I mean, like things like the window, even like the wing mirror adjustments over here is exactly the same as it's been on Toyotas for 100 years. Same with the cruise control adjustment right here. And again, like these are advantages because the car is so easy and it's not going to be really confusing for owners. Which you definitely cannot say that about BMW, Audi, really any of the other luxury makes. They're all like pretty confusing in their own way. And if you don't naturally, know how car tech works and stuff like that, you could end up driving the car for years at a time with it in like settings that you don't like, or not making use of the features that you paid for. So ES definitely does not have that weakness. But it is a really good car. Like over that little bump right there, where there might have been like a little more shimmy in the previous generation, this new ES is just really feels extremely rigid. It rides even smoother than before as a result, and is like ridiculously quiet. Super quiet. We got this nice dual pane moonroof, which will be a nice illustration of how quiet it really is when you're driving on that GoPro. The moonroof is not one touch though, you have to hold it down. Oh shit. I missed the quietness moment. So it just really seals up and the car is nicely hushed, and has good, just one of the best isolation and refinement packages of any vehicle for under $50,000, if not the best. I mean, this is really like S-Class comfort at C-Class pricing. So that is very, very nice. So on to the third point of the ES350. Which one are we in particular? So we're in just the gasoline V6. ES comes in the ES300H or the ES350. And we are in the ES350 in Eminent White Pearl as the exterior color. And we've got a bunch of options that take our pricing from about $40,000 even up to $48,000 even. So the first, I'm just gonna read them in order. First option is blind spot monitor, $500. 18-inch wheels for $880. LED low and high beams with automatic control is $515. Power sunshade and back is $210. $1,600 for the luxury package with that embossed stitch perforated leather and heated vented seats, as well as memory for the mirrors and telescope wheel. Pretty nice and good value there for $1,600. Not as good a value is the navigation system and Mark Levinson audio. So this comes in at $2,600, which seems pretty pricey. But I think you can get the navigation without the without Mark Levinson, and it might be a little cheaper. But still, $2,600 for this nav is not great value. A one-touch power trunk at $400, intuitive parking assistant $500, panoramic dual pane moonroof $500, and the heated leather and wood steering wheel for $450. So so that takes our total to $47,115, and then we have $975 for delivery is $48,090. So really, I mean, good value, really good value. In terms of this car rides smoother and is quieter than that Jag XF from last week. So I mean, that's pretty impressive price. The Jag was coming in at $65. So pretty good stuff there. Oh yeah, some other little tweaks is with this heated leather wheel, Lexus has switched from a high gloss wood veneer for their optional ES steering wheel to this really tactile kind of satin low gloss semi matte finished wood. So I don't think it is real wood. It definitely looks pretty fake, but it has a nice touchability to it. And having that on the steering wheel really makes a big difference versus the previous it felt plasticky when you were holding anywhere but the leather parts. So that's cool. I also really like the stitching on this wheel. It has sort of wide, kind of that baseball glove style, extra big contrast color hand stitched leather work there. Although something I don't like is that the heated steering wheel only heats this part. It doesn't heat any of the wood, this also wood part. but you know, that's a pretty minor thing, and if that's the worst thing I can find, then it's not a big deal. Quality for the car, as a final point, for this first one built in Kentucky, was a big thing. I mean, there are really no Lexuses that are fully assembled in the United States or really out of Japan proper. I mean, some RX hybrids, but really they've all sort of been in the home factories from Japan, so they can make sure that the quality is just legendary. I mean, Lexus legendary. But to build it in the United States, they did a lot of stuff to that factory to upgrade it, and they have done a great job. The car feels just as solid and bulletproof as any Lexus I've ever been in, and I'm really impressed. I mean, the fact that this car does share so much with Camry is a double-edged sword. Purist enthusiasts are might not pick it as their first choice, but for people who really want ridiculous comfort and refinement for under 50 grand, as well as a pretty big back seat, big car cabin feel with big width and nice airiness, as well as modern sort of designer inspired color schemes. ES is it. I mean, ES is a really great car. You can't do better than this from any of its rivals in terms of how smooth and quiet and easy the ES is to love in 2017. Alrighty, we'll see you guys next time. Check out the walk around video of the ES350 and the full review over on carrevsdaily.com in a couple weeks. See you soon. This is Tom Burkhardt. Bye-bye.